Hey everyone, it's Peter here at The Reboot. As I mentioned in my last video, my plan is to start to clean up this area here. First step is going to try to find a place or build a place outside where this lumber and all of those slabs back there, there are various other pieces behind the insulation rolls in that back corner there. So all of that and this stored outside under cover. Let's go outside and show you what I have in mind. So this is an old Shelter Logic frame. This is the top of it. The rest of it is stored over beside the cabin on that right side over there. First step, or one of the first steps, is to rebuild that old Shelter Logic frame. This is, you can see from behind me that I'm down the back side of the red barn of the shop here. And the plan is going to be to clear out a roughly 12 by 12 space back here, cut back some of these bushes here, mow, level it out, and create a place where I can put down some blocks, where I can stack the wood, and where the Shelter Logic 10 by 12 Shelter Logic will be over top of that. So that's the plan. You know the routine. Let's get busy. Time-lapse footage here is a little bit deceiving because this is probably the hardest and most important part of a little project like this. I say hard, it's not exactly hard, but you are digging, you are moving some gravel around, and you're spending a lot of time moving that 2x6, putting the level on it, off and on, working at trying to get those blocks level. Again, important because you're trying to create a foundation that is flat for the wood that's going to go in here and it's going to dry. They're the foundation blocks for this storage area, for this wood storage. It is 10 feet long and 9.5 wide. And as you can see there, that 2x6 sits pretty level. It's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close to being perfect. And then the idea is to create a roof structure with this, get the legs, which are over there behind the cabin over there, slap some tarps on it, and like I said, create this storage area. I'd like to try, what do I want to try to get done today? I need 10 pieces for the roof. I don't have enough of the self-tapping screws to get all of those on, but I'll get started and then go pick up some things later today. I can't go any farther on this for two reasons. One, I've run out of self-tapping screws. And two, I need to move this very awkward contraption onto the base before I put any more of these slats on top. It's going to get too heavy for me to maneuver it in place. So I'll get it in place. I'll continue to put the slats on tomorrow, or hopefully tomorrow, get a canvas on it, or a tarp, or two, and then lift it into place, and let's see what we have. I think I'm also going to have to add another row of supports because the farthest ones are at 10 feet, and this is to support wood that I currently have stored inside the red shop. Not all the wood that I want to store here is 10 feet long, so I need to put a support either halfway in there or midway in that area, just because a lot of them are 6 and 7 feet long and they need 2 to 3 pieces of support in them. I set these purlins with a foot overhang on each end, giving me an extra couple feet of coverage. So on the second day here, I've been able to get the rest of these, I guess I'm going to call them purlins, in place on this old Shelter Logic frame. These aren't the sturdiest things. This is called short-term storage. And you'll recall the cover that I have on the sawmill out front. As a comparison, this is the cover that I made with an old Shelter Logic. For the sawmill, as you can see, keeps the rain off it. Obviously it's open to the elements pretty much. Same type of concept. It's quick and dirty. These old Shelter Logics I've had lying around. My dad had one, I had one 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Some of you have them on your yards, lawn tractors, log piles, that kind of thing. Anyways, these ones were left over. I'm repurposing them. And for this one, I've got a heavy duty tarp. I've got the middle of it marked out. This one is 15 by 20 feet. Right now with the overhang on these purlins, the depth is 12 feet. So I'm going to have about 1.5 feet each end hanging over. And then the 20 feet should go close to ground on each side as it This is the dead center of the tarp in terms of it's got 10 feet on that side and 10 feet on that side. Roughly 10 feet from the center, the top of the peak, down to the ground, should come close to hitting the ground. It might be 6 inches to 12 inches off the ground. And there you can tell I undid the tarp inside the shop and I marked the center right there. Same on that end there. And it's with all the folds that came with the tarp, obviously, as you unpackage it. Now, the folds are actually quite useful. Help me line it up and keep it square, or square enough, as I start to sock it into place. Battens over top the tarp hold it in place, and I screw those directly into the purlins underneath. Time to raise the roof. Those of you who have put up Shelter Logics before know that the legs come in sections. So I just raised the roof in sections, made it easier. Made it easy to get this contraption up on its legs and in place. I'm going to add a horizontal brace down here to which I can attach the tarp, and I might even put a couple diagonals, one on each side, just to give it a little bit more strength in the wind. But back here behind the shop, the prevailing wind comes in from that side of the building, so it's going to be quite sheltered back here. I'm not worried about that. So the idea when I have more screws is put another horizontal piece in here. But there you go. In terms of cost, everybody might be interested in this. So as mentioned, the old Shelter Logic frames are left over from when they originally purchased. The only thing I bought new for this little project is this tarp itself, on sale $50 at Canadian Tire, as opposed to buying a replacement cover for Shelter Logic, which I think runs about $300. I don't need the zippered front and back. I may close up the back and close up the front just to stop the swirling snow and wind from getting in at the wood that I plan to store out here. But this is going to do the trick. Repurposing some old parts. On sale. It's the right price for me. And these big plastic prong washers are left over from hanging the insulation inside. It's another day here at the Reboot. I've been working hard at this temporary shelter. And when I say temporary, here's what I mean about this shelter. This is a shelter I'm building so that I can store some of that wood that you see inside of my shop that's taking up a lot of extremely useful floor space out here. Heavy duty tarp, so it should last 2 to 3 years. That's the idea, short term, 2 to 3 years, while I get organized and figure out how to store wood I'm air drying some other way. When I last left off earlier in the video, I had only 3 support rails across the floor. I've now got 5, so I added this one and this one. I have added some additional framing on the inside here. Again, guys, this is temporary. There's nothing super special about this. I'm using leftover wood that I've had from various projects. And again, it is a Shelter Logic frame left over when the original cover for it disintegrated after several years of use. And on the outside, I have it secured several battens in places. I find that the battens work really well on the cover for the sawmill. And I've also used these big prong washers, and they go into that framing that you see on the inside. It secures it nicely, prevent rips, and should last a few years. I'm also thinking about, but I'm in no rush right now, I'll do it before the snow flies, is to add some framing here in the back so that, again, it wouldn't be airtight by any stretch of the imagination, but put a 10 by 10 piece of tarp out the back here and possibly one on the front, just to reduce the amount of snow that'll blow in here and sit on this lumber in here as it's stored and as it continues to dry. Now, what I'm going to do, head up there, grab the pickup, load it up with some wood, and start stacking it back here. Let's keep this project going, try to get it done. This is taking a little bit more time than I expected, but it's going to be worth it because it's just going to clear out the floor space inside the shop. In the shop here, you can see what I've done to this pile of wood. It's pretty much been, 2/3 of it's been taken away. A bunch of it's junk, and I took a load over with some other things to the dump. And the rest of this stuff, including these logs, I'm going to try to store outside. Once I get that done, clean it up, going to get this over there, the mobile workbench, as well as the red metal one. And then I'm going to start moving these piles of slabs out of here. And again, look at all that floor space that I'm going to get back. Love doing this. Going to be bright out there. It is a warm day here in Eastern Ontario in late August. A warm, warm day. Ooh, even with the window open, it's warm in here. All right, let's see. Backing up into the shop. Love that door. Can't get enough of it. It's all clear in there. Let's sweep that up. There you go. That is a lot of space. Just got that back. I'm going to move some of this out of the way. And I want to get access to this pile here first. so we can get that outside. And I think I'll probably continue tomorrow with these 5, what are these called? And you've got the whole log and slabs. Forgetting what that's called. Down in the comments below, everyone, if you remember what that's called. Strapping up my slabs out here because it just helps to keep them drying in a straight and flat manner, like they were inside. Inside I use weights on them. Here's what the clips look like. See that one right there? Nice and solid. 3 on a big one like this. I'll put 2 on the shorter ones. So let's continue and get the rest of those slabs unloaded and in here. I think the next one I'm going to do, go right on top of this one. Okay, that's it pretty much for this video. You can see I've got numerous stacks of dried slabs stacked in here. The wraps are nice and tight. So I think they're going to continue to remain flat. They're stickered well. I think they're close to dry. I think I could make stuff out of this when I get the time. When I get the shop sorted out inside, then I'm going to come out here, grab these things, and start making things out of them. What I'm going to make exactly yet, I don't know. But I'm not doing this for the sake of just drying them. That has cleared up so much room inside the shop. Let's go take a look. This is the space where all that wood was sitting. All those slabs right in here. And right back here, you can see that I've already swept it, creating lots of space. Gonna get this insulation out of here soon. And then that other pile of wood was here, and you can see I've got the rollaway workstations moved out of the way as well. So it starts to create a lot of space in here. It's gonna even be more space once that insulation's in place. Looking forward to it. Hey everybody, thank you for sticking through this whole video. Please subscribe, like, and share. Look forward to seeing everybody in the next video. Take care.